Thank you for staying with us. You're watching Sunrise from Channels Television. The International Day of the Girl Child is celebrated globally every 11th day of October. That's on Monday, of course. And the day focuses attention on the unique challenges girls face and also promotes girls' empowerment and the fulfillment of their human rights. We have joining us from Abuja, the UNICEF representative in Nigeria, Mr. Peter Hawkins. Good morning, Mr. Hawkins.
Good morning to you both.
And also joining us from Abuja is Mrs. Ajanigo Abuka, Deputy Director, Gender, Federal Ministry of Education. Good morning.
Good morning, Alero and your colleague.
Thank you for joining us.
We're happy to be here.
Thank you for joining us. Now, the theme for this year is Digital Generation, Our Generation. Mr. Hawkins, what does this theme mean, please?
Well, it's about access to the digital platform. It's access for young girls who are disproportionately taken out of the platform. They have fewer abilities to be able to access it, the means to access it. But I think most importantly, once they do access it, it gives them the upper hand in what they do. I mean, my own daughter is so much better at being able to look at the digital world and use it effectively than certainly I am. And so young girls and the girl child, it's one area where they can really jump over the divide and be able to benefit not only from the information, but also in the skills that they have to be able to offer.
Denied access? Mr. Hawkins, why have girls been denied access? Mr. Hawkins, can you hear me? Why have the girls been denied access?
The denial of access is an issue around poverty, it's an issue around prioritization, it's an issue around many different aspects. The girl child is always left to the last. And I think what a day like today highlights is that actually we need to bring them first and ensure that they are at the front of the queue. It's their right to be able to be a girl child, it's their right to have access to education, and it's their right to be able to have access to information, and from that to be able to aspire and thrive.
Mrs. Abuka, you are of the Federal Ministry of Education. Obviously, the girl child has had the short end of the stick for all kinds of reasons. But after Beijing and all that, we got the impression that things were beginning to improve for the girl child. So as regards education, is there any improvement in the number of girl children who have access to education nationwide?
Yes, there has been a lot of improvement. Like, since the declaration of the Beijing conference, all the countries were encouraged to go establish gender branches in their countries, in the ministries, which has been done. There is hardly any ministry you go that there is no gender branch. And we have gone into educating girls from the gender branch, and with the collaboration from development partners, we have been working very hard on this, and there has been a lot of improvement, especially in the northern part of Nigeria, where girls are highly backward in education. UNICEF, in collaboration with the Ministry of Education, and the Ministry of Education, from her own tight budget, has been working assiduously to ensure that the girl child are aware of themselves, their right to education, their parents are being sensitized, and all that. So there has been a lot of improvement, I must tell you.
Are there peculiarities concerning the girl child in Nigeria, irrespective of the specific regions where they came from, that are unique, that you think, you know, a little more intervention of government and other agencies may be necessary? Are there unique challenges peculiar to the girl child that you know from your experience as Deputy Director General in the Federal Ministry of Education that need urgent attention?
As we are all aware, safety of the girls in school is a very recent issue that has come to affect the girl child education. And then the Federal Ministry of Education has been working to see how we can achieve this safety for the girls in school. We all know about the abduction of girls from schools, the Chibok, Dapchi, and other cases of abduction of children. We have been working closely with the Federal Ministry of Women Affairs to bring up very formidable security arrangements to ensure that these issues come to the barest minimum. Like, as you know, education is on the concurrent list. Despite that, the Federal Ministry of Education and the State Ministry of Education will come together from time to time to discuss how to achieve this security in our schools. Like this year's theme for the NC is on security and safety of schools for the achievement of education agenda 2030 for education. So all the stakeholders in education from the federal level and the state level, we come up with memos so that we can come up with policies that will provide strategies to addressing these menace.
Abuka,
Thank you very much.
Mrs. Abuka, how much have these abductions affected the willingness of the girl child to go to school? And how much has it affected their parents when it comes to sending them to school?
Very, very high, because many parents are expressing their fear of allowing their children to continue to go to school, especially in the Northeast, even these days in the Northwest. With the celebration of the International Day of the Girl Child, we have taking our time with our collaborators, the Federal Ministry of Women Affairs, National Commission for, National Communication Commission, and some other stakeholders. We are celebrating the International Day of the Girl Child this year, working together, ensuring children to have digital access to digital literacy. Well, what I want to say here is that some of the girls that were invited to this camp and for the celebration at national level, yesterday we met at a breakfast meeting with the Honorable Minister of Women Affairs and the Honorable Minister of Education, where we had a kind of chat with the girls. The girls themselves were asked to express themselves of their feeling about the insecurity in schools. One of them from Zamfara got up and asked the Honorable Minister. It was so emotional and very touching that they are scared to continue to go to school. Their parents are scared to release them to continue to go to school. It was so touching, but we assured them we will not relent. Generally, the country is under siege by these insurgents. We are working out, just like I have said, the Federal Ministry of Education, development partners, the Ministry of Women Affairs, and other education stakeholders, working out very formidable security arrangement for these schools. There's a lot of fear, I must attest to this.
Mr. Hawkins, the fear and the challenges, clear and present, wherever these children are, is there. And will definitely be an inhibition, so to speak, first in their minds, and then in even getting to school to get education or anything. So it would seem like this theme, this year's theme, Digital Generation, Our Generation, is significant and could help in that regard. So how feasible, in your opinion, do you see that transition to the digital age for the girls that Mrs. Abuka just talked about?
No, it's a very, very interesting point, is how can learning be done at home, in the communities, in different ways. I was there yesterday with the young girls, and it was palpable. I mean, it is, the psychosocial impact it's having on girls, both directly affected and indirectly affected, is palpable. But the Ministry of Education, together with UNICEF, are developing what we call the Learning Passport. This is a content that will be put on a digital platform that allows girls, in this case, but any children, to be able to access learning through the digital platform. And then the next step is to ensure that young girls have that access to that information. And that's the challenge I think we're faced with now. As the previous speaker said, the insecurity of going to school, the insecurity of being at school is of a real issue. But it's also about the prioritization within the family. Do they send the girl to school or do they send the boy to school? And many times they would, if they have to make those choices, they'll send the boy to school. Once the girl is at school, can she transition from primary education to secondary education? Are there the facilities available to allow her to do that? Are the schools available? Are there women teachers to be able to ensure the environment in which they're learning is compatible with their own being? Are they allowed to aspire? And this is one of the things that came out yesterday, very much so for the girls. The ability to want to follow and to be led by people like the Minister of Women's Affairs. They're aspiring to be and use her to help their own future.
With you, Mr. Hawkins, apart from all this insecurity, you know, all over the land, the girl child also suffers, and by that I'm referring to increasing cases of rape and sex for grades when they get a bit older. All those things are going on. Are all these not going to discourage, one, parents from releasing their daughters to go to school, and two, the girls themselves from the dangers of being out there, in quotes?
Absolutely, and this is the problem. This is security or protection. I mean, they have a right to go to school and have that right to be fulfilled. And especially at times like this, where there have been lockdowns, schools are being closed, gender-based violence is on the increase, and that affects the young girls the most. Not only that, but also the consequences. So a teenage girl pregnant girl is not allowed to go to school, is not even allowed to take her exams. So there's a double whammy there, which must be overcome. So that you're 100% right. The protection of the girl has to be paramount. Harassment from being able to walk to school without any fear, the gender-based violence, the grades for sex, all of these sort of things has to be stamped out. Zero tolerance, and the girls protected 100% so they can complete their education unhindered.
Okay. Well, we've run completely out of time now, so I just wish you all a happy International Day of the Girl Child. Mr. Peter Hawkins, UNICEF representative in Nigeria, as well as Mrs. Ajanigo Abuka, Deputy Director, Gender, Federal Ministry of Education. Thank you very much for joining us to talk about the International Day of the Girl Child.
Thank you very much for having us.
Good. Sunrise will be right back with another interesting conversation. I think this is called Ijoya 4.0. See you.
Can we just play that Ijoya music? Ijoya.
Yes. Maybe it's